Jesus and the 12 disciples sat down to eat. During the meal, Jesus said, I tell you, one of you will betray me. The disciples were very upset and began to ask him one after another, Surely, Lord, you don't mean me. Jesus answered, One who dips his bread in the dish with me will betray me. The Son of Man will die as the Scriptures say he will. But how terrible for that man who will betray the Son of Man. It would have been better for that man if he had never been born. Judas, the traitor, spoke up. Surely, Peter, you don't mean me, he asked. Jesus answered, So you say.
The second reading is from Matthew chapter 26, verses 31 to 35. Peter's denial foretold. Then Jesus said to them, You will all become deserters because of me this night, for it is written, I will strike the shepherd, and the sheep of the flock will be scattered. But after I am raised up, I will go ahead of you to Galilee. Peter said to him, Though all become deserters because of you, I will never desert you. Jesus said to him, Truly I tell you, this very night, before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. Peter said to him, Even though I must die with you, I will not deny you. And so said all the disciples.
We will now sing from your bulletin, Jesus, Remember Me, When You Come Into Your Kingdom. Nancy will play it through once. Sing it twice.
The third reading, Luke chapter 22, verses 39 through 44. Jesus left the city and went, as he usually did, to the Mount of Olives, and the disciples went with him. When he arrived at the place, he said to them, Pray that you will not fall into temptation. Then he went off from them about the distance of a stone's throw and knelt down and prayed. Father, he said, if you will, take this cup of suffering away from me. Not my will, however, but your will be done. An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. In great anguish, he prayed even more fervently. His sweat was like drops of blood falling to the ground.
The fourth reading is from Mark 14, verses 32 to 41. They came to a place called Gethsemane, and Jesus said to his disciples, "Sit here while I pray." He took Peter, James, and John with him. Distress and anguish came over him, And he said to them, "The sorrow in my heart is so great that it almost crushes me. Stay here and keep watch." He went a little farther on, threw himself on the ground, and prayed that if possible, he might not have to go through that time of suffering. "Father," he prayed, "my Father, all things are possible for you. Take this cup of suffering away from me, yet not what I want, but what you want." Then he returned and found the 3 disciples asleep. He said to Peter, "Simon, are you asleep? Weren't you able to stay awake for even 1 hour?" And he said to them, "Keep watch and pray that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." He went away once more and prayed, saying the same words. Then he came back to the disciples and found them asleep. They could not keep their eyes opened, and they did not know what to say to him. When he came back the 3rd time, he said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough! The hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is now being handed over to the power of sinners. Get up, let us go. Look, here is the man who is betraying me."
The 5th reading is from John. After Jesus finished saying this, he looked up to heaven and said, "Father, the hour has come. Give glory to your Son, so that your Son may give glory to you. For you gave him authority over all people, so that he might give eternal life to all those who you gave him. And eternal life means to know you, the only true God, and to know Jesus Christ, whom you sent. I have shown your glory on earth. I have finished the work you gave me to do. Father, give me the glory in your presence now, the same glory I had with you before the world was made. I have made you known to those you gave me out of the world. They belong to you, and you gave them to me. They have obeyed your word."
I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but I do ask you to keep them safe from the evil one. Just as I do not belong to the world, they do not belong to the world. Dedicate them to yourself by means of the truth. Your word is truth. I sent them into the world just as you sent me into the world. And for their sake I dedicate myself to you, in order that they too may be truly dedicated to you. I pray not only for them, but also for those who believe in me because of their message. I pray that they may all be one. Father, may they be in us, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they be one so that the world will believe that you sent me. I gave them the same glory you gave me, so that they may be one, just as you and I are one.
The seventh reading is from John 18, verses 1 to 5. When Jesus had spoken these words, he went out with his disciples over the brook Kidron, where there was a brook garden, which he and his disciples entered. And Judas, who betrayed him, also knew the place, for Jesus often met there with his disciples. Then Judas, having received a detachment of troops and officers from the chief priests and Pharisees, came there with lanterns, torches, and weapons. Jesus, therefore, knowing all things that would come upon him, went forward and said to them, "Whom are you seeking?" They answered him, "Jesus of Nazareth." Jesus said to them, "I am he." And Judas, who betrayed him, also stood with them.
The eighth reading is from Mark 15, 16 to 20. The soldiers led Jesus away into the palace, that is, the praetorium, and called together the whole company of soldiers. They put a purple robe on him, then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him. And they began to call out to him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Again and again they struck him on the head with a staff and spit on him. Falling on his knees, they paid homage to him. And when they had mocked him and took off the purple robe and put on his own clothes on him, then they led him out to crucify him.